I'm Eva Cochise, founder head teacher at Gumley, and I'm really, really excited about this conference. It's the very first time we've done anything like this, and of course invited other students from other schools. So a huge, huge welcome to some of our other students. A huge welcome to Dunsbury, huge welcome to St Mark's, and Maria Fidelis has had a long way to travel. They are on the bus at the moment. The theme is, can we be truly ethical in a globalised society?
You've got a fantastic lineup, as you can see today, in terms of speakers. Don't forget during the day that the title of the conference has got a question mark at the end. Because by the end of the day, I'm hoping that each and every one of you will have the beginnings of an answer to that question.
Poverty has no causes, wealth has causes. And that, when you think about it, is a very profound insight. You don't need to explain poverty in one sense, because poverty is the natural condition of human beings in this world. Periods of that last 200 years is innovation, finding out ways not of working harder, but of working smarter. But what you had going on between 1870 and 1914 was a huge growth in trade, a huge growth in interconnection between different parts of the world. If you compare where we are now to where human beings for most of history, or indeed to where we were only 50 years ago or 30 years ago, you'll be enormously encouraged and you'll be struck and amazed by just how much things have changed and also how much they've changed for the better.
And what we do is we campaign for garment workers' rights worldwide to put an end to sweatshop labour. Well, as I said, we work on garment workers' rights, and we do this by working with trade unions, garment workers and local NGOs in garment-producing countries. What we focus on as ethical is good working conditions in the mainstream garment and fashion industries. It would take a Sri Lankan garment worker making Nike clothes over 60,000 years, 7 days a week, to earn the same amount as the one man at the top. We want to address the huge inequalities that exist in the current model of the fashion industry, to end sweatshop labour and to ensure that companies begin to put people over profit.
In whose interest should capitalism be run? In who should benefit from globalisation? Power doesn't matter. Well, I'm going to argue that it does matter. How much do you think Apple makes per handset? Of the total cost of production, that is, to put the phone in your box, put it in front of you, it costs $178. On average, each iPhone, including the software that's added onto it, gives you $630. And a gross margin of $451. For just selling you the software and the brand and assembling all the global supply chain.
Maybe we should look at capitalism and the bad effects that it has and the implications and how different, and if we were to take it back to the example of garments, it's how each country is implemented in their governments, and the fact that they're not perhaps like Britain, where they have all these rights, or they have the laws and stuff and they just don't implement them because of the corruption in the government. So.
My first strand was about opportunity. So if you're using capital to create opportunity, that seems to me a good thing. But of course you can use capital to deploy power that holds other people back. So you have to look at what that does. If you use opportunity, you have to look at what that does to the people who are weakest and most disempowered.
How can we see a bright future in terms of social reform that will improve the lives of people who are less economically advantaged, despite the influence of people higher up the scale?
We were discussing whether it was really up to the businesses to provide that and the brands themselves. Like, at the end of the day, a brand or a business is not a politician. The entrepreneur does not have that responsibility to provide for a different country. Should it not be up to the states to essentially provide that?
It's what is good for all of us together, that a functioning system of law serves the common good. Now, what makes a good business is so often judged in terms of profit. And profit for whom? Profit for the shareholders. But there's a much deeper answer to what makes a good business, which is a business that enables people to do good work and also to make a good profit.
We were wondering what measures you would put in place to deal with an increasingly globalised world. Do you think that we should be changing the way children are educated in schools? And do you think that international bodies such as the United Nations and the EU should have more power?
Actually said there's something higher than that. And we've teased it out really as being justice, of being trying to create a fairer, better world. And you've come up resoundingly, it would seem to me, with the answer. Yes, we would want to make these reforms. We would want to progress. We would like to see a system in this world where the benefits of globalisation are more fairly spread between people. And if you hadn't said that, I would have been devastated, because the future is with you. You are the young people who are the future of this country. And if you abandon the issue of whether we could be trying to be ethical, then we're all lost, and I'm so grateful.